I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And today we're going to be talking about hard truths about breakups.
We're keeping it real.
Yep. Now, we're going to keep it real by letting you know that there's a new microphone today. So if you hear a difference in the audio, let us know. Some people don't like the audio on the mics. I have no idea why. I'm certainly not a sound engineer, even though I worked in radio and did a radio show for 8 years. What do I know? So we got a new mic, and let us know if you like the upgrade and how it sounds, if you think it sounds any better. But we're going to talk about hard truths about breakups, okay? Now, interesting enough, many of you guys watching probably have heard hard truths from your family and friends. Mm-hmm. They're never going to come back. You're never going to hear from them again.
You're wasting your time.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff like that.
They all have a southern accent for some reason.
Yeah, I guess so. They're all from the South. You ain't going to hear from Betsy again. Not never. So, yeah, I know you're going to hear a lot of those things from friends and family, but, you know, we really believe in the truth here and, you know, dealing with what is and the way things are. And that's been a big thing that Margaret has taught me for many things, even with therapy over the years. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of families will hide things, keep family secrets, don't want to tell people the truth, like they were adopted. And we really believe in talking about the truth. And so we're always honest about breakups and talking about our experience with breakups. And, you know, sometimes when you're going through it, it's hard to hear certain things. You know, some of you may feel so frustrated that you give up hope and then you stop working on yourselves. And, you know, it's a tough time. And so facing those things that, you know, you're dealing with uncertainty, you're dealing with another person and their right to make decisions, that can be scary and kind of leave you feeling out of control.
Right. But it is important to know that the truth really does set you free. Margaret says it all the time. Mm-hmm. And dealing with reality can really help with your maturity and dealing with the situation. So the first point that we have is that anybody can break up with you for any reason and at any time, or even for no reason at all.
Yep.
So this is a hard truth because sometimes in relationships we just get comfortable with the other person. We can take for granted their commitment, their loyalty, their presence.
Yeah.
And sometimes we feel entitled to their affection, entitled to having them as our partner, when in reality they do have that choice to leave. And we say this not to make you feel abandoned or more abandoned than you might already feel, but to remind you that how you treat people does matter. And people do not have to stay and tolerate any type of abuse or mistreatment. And on the other hand, even if, let's say, they left for a reason that wasn't caused by your behavior, they still do have that right.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes in a breakup, that reality we don't like to look at, just because we like to think that, you know, we have a right to our person. This was somebody who had stood by our side, has been there for us, and so we deserve to have them. People are not like objects that you can trade and hold and possess. And so this is a hard truth, but we gotta share it.
It's true. And of course, we don't want any of you being mistreated. And we know many of you have been taken for granted. Mm-hmm. And many of you were not treated well by your partner. And we're certainly not implying that all of you were the ones that caused the breakup in any way, shape, or form. And I know you guys can be really sensitive to that when you're going through a difficult time. Yeah. But yeah, it does suck knowing that people can leave you for any reason at any time. And it's true. And I'm sure many of you have broken up with people in your past and maybe the other person felt like you didn't have a valid reason or that you should give them another chance. In fact, many of you probably even broke up with your partner at some point, and they begged you and said, oh, please give me another chance, and you didn't want to, you were reluctant, and then you did, and you're like, but now they won't give me the same chance. I see it. Is it fair? Nope. But life isn't fair. It really isn't. And, it's tough. We wish it was. We wish there were certain things that we could have more control over, but we just don't. And so, accepting that is a challenge and, a tough pill to swallow. On the other hand, it is positive and it's good to know that people choose to be with you, okay? And they continually choose to be with you, to that commitment to be in your life. Friends and family and even partners will choose you in their life, and they show you're important to me, I value you, I care about you. And, sometimes that person says, I can't continue this for whatever reason, but they did choose to be with you for however long it was.
Right. I think it is important to remember people's rights, because oftentimes we try to force a situation when we can't accept that people do have a choice.
You always want to be somebody's best option, and if you don't do the work on yourselves, if you don't work through your own attachment issues and understanding of relationships and how to be a good partner, how to make your partner feel loved, how to be responsible for your emotions, how you treat people, and what you're going to allow with boundaries and mental health, all of those things, and much more. You are responsible for those things. And so you really want to be somebody's best option. And that's why we're always talking about personal growth. And we have over 1,000 videos. And in just about every one of those, we're talking about personal growth and bettering yourself. And what you can do better to either re-attract that partner or be the best option for the next person that you meet that you're excited about.
Yeah, very well said. It is very important to remember those things. Our next point is that contacting your ex rarely helps in getting them back.
Yeah. Can I jump in there?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
If you don't believe us, how many times have you reached out to your ex already, and what happened? It often makes it worse.
This is a very hard truth to face, just because during a breakup we are so hurt and we want so badly to connect with our ex, the person who left us. We want to repair it. We want to be active in being able to fix it. But the truth is that the opposite happens. When the more we try to fix and force, the more we push away.
Yeah.
And so it is actually in that space that your ex is able to better process the events of the breakup, that longing is starting to be created through that space and time. So that's a very important point to remember. And you also want to give him that space to be able to reconsider the decision to get back together. They have 1,000,005 thoughts in their brain about what could possibly happen if you were to reconnect. You want to give them that space and time to truly think about it before ever even attempting to reconnect in that way.
Yeah, it's really challenging when you're in that situation and you feel like I'm not reaching out, so they're going to forget about me. They're going to move on. They're going to be done. It's going to be over. I can't let space go by and time go by. But really, in my experience, and I've been doing this for a long time, contact them often makes them angry. It often makes them more sure that they don't want to talk to you. It doesn't allow them to miss you. It doesn't allow them to rethink things. And they just put up a higher and higher wall against you. So you got to be very careful, okay? I know it feels like you're not doing anything, but space is good for them and it's good for you. And when you truly do the work on yourself and you truly get to a good place within yourself, you see these things and you see, I'm in a good place right now. I don't need them. I miss them and I want them, but I also want them to miss me and need me too. So, allow them that space and time to think about things and get yourself in a better place. Heal, get with a therapist, do the creative healing course, do the workbooks, watch the videos, whatever you can to get into a good place.
And on that note of advocating for your own mental health, I will say that staying friends with an ex rarely helps in getting them back romantically. This is another hard truth because in our brains after a breakup, we think any connection with them is better than none.
Yeah.
The problem here is that your ex is being able to write the terms of the relationship without your honest input. If you honestly want a romantic connection with this person, you have to tell the truth to yourself and to your ex that those are your intentions. Otherwise, your ex is thinking, oh, this is a cute little friendship, while you are still expecting something more. There's an uneven balance in the dynamic of that relationship.
Yeah. You're not going to be honest with them. You're not going to be honest with yourself. Do you really want to sit there and hear about their new relationship and the problems in their new relationship? Because that's what friends do, right? You're not really being authentic with who you are and what you want, and you're settling for a lot less than what you really want. And you're making it a lot easier for them. You're making the breakup so much easier by letting them know, I can go off and date whoever I want and continue to have you as my backup. They don't hold you in the same high regard when they see, oh, I can just keep them around as a friend and go off and explore and do whatever I want. It's not attractive, and it's not going to help your chances, okay? So I really believe you want to stand your ground and not stay friends with an ex. I know there are other coaches that think that it's a good idea, but you should hear all the things I've heard over the years about people in those situations. They're miserable, and rarely does it turn things around with their ex.
Right, and an ex might try to barter with you with that friendship, trying to continue maybe having sex with you, continue having those deep emotional conversations without that label, and it lets them off the hook.
Yeah. And not only that, what does friendship even look like to them? You know how many avoidants will say, I still want to be friends with you? And then it's like, for them, that means you talk to them twice a year. And you're thinking, I thought we were going to be friends. And thinking, I thought I could turn this around by being friends.
Right.
So what would that even look like? It would shock you.
These are all things to consider. So our next point is that they initially feel freedom right after the breakup. So this isn't one that's always true. We know that the breakup can be hard for both parties initially. There's a lot of emotions happening. But I can say a lot of the times there is a relief that the person who did the breaking up feels, probably because this was a thought that they've had in their mind for months, maybe even years, and they finally reached a decision. So that can be very liberating for somebody.
Oh, and when you hear it or think that your ex is happier without you, it hurts so bad.
It makes you want to vomit.
It hurts so bad. Thinking the very thing that's making them happy is my absence.
Yeah.
It's brutal. I've been there, and I remember thinking that and feeling that. And it was like, how could me not being in your life be the thing that you're happy about? That makes no sense to me. Like, we had a great connection. How could you be happier without that?
Right.
It's surreal.
Yeah, it can be very, very tough. And I think, too, we want our ex to feel how we're feeling.
That's true.
If we're feeling terrible, if we're feeling like we're missing them, empty without them, we also want our ex to be feeling that same thing, so at least we could be connected to them in that way. But the hard truth is that they might be feeling completely different from you, and that is something you ultimately have to respect. It doesn't mean that your feelings are any less valid or their feelings are any less valid, but you both have different realities at the moment right after the breakup.
Yeah. And I can tell you, even though it feels like it's going to stay like that forever, that they're happy without you, it's not like that at all. Oftentimes, exes come back, and sometimes years later, sometimes a year later, sometimes several years later, and you're like shocked to hear from them, and they're like, I thought about you every day. I thought about you all the time. And you're like, why didn't you reach out? Now, of course, we're not telling you to put your life on hold for years. My point is that there are many times where your ex will come back, who knows when, and tell you they've missed you and thought about you all this time, and you're just like, I can't even believe this.
Yeah.
But the freedom that they feel in the beginning doesn't always stay like that. And a lot of times, as they process, as they think about things, and as you leave them alone, that's the key, they do miss you.
Yeah, and it can be very hard to see them on social media, happy, smiling at the beach, maybe even with their new partner.
Beaky buzzard!
It's getting real personal.
Hit a soft spot.
All right, so for our last hard truth, we will stop giving you these hard pills to swallow. Our last one is that there is a lot of uncertainty in the process. Nobody can guarantee that your ex will come back for sure. Not a coach, not a therapist, not your friend, not your ex's mom or ex's family, and nobody can guarantee that they won't come back. The truth of the matter is that, they have free will and choice. They have a say if they want to reconsider the relationship. And also, some other coaches might say that in 30 days or in 60 days or in 90 days, your ex is going to come back.
45 days.
They might put limits to it. If you don't hear back from your ex by this amount of time, then they're gone forever. They're gone for good.
Nonsense.
A critical window to getting your ex back. People are just way too complex to be put into boxes like these.
Yeah.
And relationships are really complex. So it can be very, very, very difficult to discern. And sometimes you all ask in coachings as well, do you have a gut feeling of when? And there might be maybe a hunch just based off of the facts.
When we look at everything, we kind of try and assess the best that we can. When do we think? When would I think? If I woke up in your shoes, what would I think? When would I expect to hear from them? That's what I do. And I've been doing this for a long time, so I kind of go based on what I've seen in the past and what you're telling me is going on. But anything can happen at any time.
Yes.
That's the reality. Anything can happen at any time. But nobody is guaranteed to hear from their ex or that they're going to come back or you're going to get another chance. But that's not always a bad thing. I constantly get emails about people that saying, I know I had a couple recently that maybe I'll even put them in an email or a video, is that their ex came back after the person found somebody new and is happy in a new relationship. And it felt so good to them because they moved on, they were happy with their new partner, and they're like, they still wanted me. I think I had 2 or 3 emails just in the last week about that. So you don't know what's going to happen. There may be somebody right around the corner that is much better for you in your, and in your life. I mean, obviously, we don't know. We're talking in generalities here, but we see stuff like that happen all the time.
Yeah.
Some exes come back. Some exes don't. Some exes will breadcrumb you, but then don't want to come back. Some exes come back after you moved on and you're happy. And some of you guys get back together with your ex and are happy. So any of those things and a lot more different things can happen. There's a lot of uncertainty in a breakup. But the more you work on yourself, the more you commit to the personal growth, the better your chances are of having a healthy relationship with your ex or somebody new that you meet in the future.
So there is also a positive twist to this, that anything can happen, anything good can happen, and the best we can do is just continue to work on ourselves, put ourselves in the position for the most positive interactions to happen, and to set ourselves up for success. Sounds very cheesy, but we mean it, and that's also a hard truth.
It is, because you can control certain things and you can't control certain things. But what you can control is great. You can really use this breakup to turn your life around, and I see people all week long that are doing that. And that is a great thing. And many of you will have another opportunity to make an even better relationship with that ex. I know it doesn't feel like it right now. I know they may not be talking to you right now. I know they may not show any interest right now, but that doesn't mean that their feelings will always stay that way. Learning to be confident in uncertain times is one of the most attractive things that you can do. That's what all the workbooks are about. That's what the creative healing course is about, is truly getting you to work through your issues so you become really confident and you display confident behaviors, attitudes, actions. You work through your past traumas. You're not set off by different things like that would have normally set you off and made you insecure. All of those things can put you in the best position with either your ex or somebody new. So you may have to deal with uncertainty for long periods of time in a breakup, but you do have control in many ways.
Right. I think that was very well put. And I also do think that there's a certain resilience with being able to handle that uncertainty, where things are thrown your way that you don't expect, but being able to take those as a challenge and as opportunities to be able to step up.
Absolutely. Okay, so hopefully you haven't passed out from many of these hard truths. Maybe they weren't even too hard for you. Maybe some of you are like, my breakup was so crazy, this is nothing, right? But we're here for you. Of course, if you want to get our coaching, you can get it on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. And of course, Coach Victoria is now doing coaching.
Yes, I'm very excited to speak with you all.
So just click on Victoria on the top of the website to get a coaching with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon. To get my help personally, go to askcraig.net and click on Schedule Coaching and choose the option that works best for you. I do email coaching or Skype. To schedule a coaching with Margaret, click on Margaret on the top of the page and order a Skype with her. For the Knowledge Creative Healing course, click on the link at the top of the page and click Get Started Now.